So you've never paid a celebrity in...
There we go. The BC, yeah, the BSC transaction. What's up, guys? Yeah, not the Safemoon blockchain. Hey, D-Libby, how's it going? He means to delete everything while they take our money. Oh, man. You guys are really... The Safemoon army is not happy with the team. There's like a small group of people left, but a lot of people are like, have had enough. 1 second, guys. I'm almost ready. Let me know if the music's too loud. You know what? Hey, Safemoon Dog. Good to see you guys. Safemoon Corey. Oh, my Safemoon has a blockchain. Sounds like Reflex will have one way before Safemoon. Yeah, I saw that announcement for them today. So hopefully that goes well for them. I'm gonna look at some cool stuff today. I'm working on a couple really big videos, and they're gonna take a while. It's just a lot of research and then a lot of editing to make high quality videos that really dig and paint the picture of what's actually going on. It's not... Most people just don't have time to do what I'm doing. You know, luckily I can just have extra time to sit here and dig and make content on stuff like this. Most people are just too busy to put this kind of time and effort into researching and stuff. I know some people really hate that typing thing. I don't even know what that is, Chris C. Hey, what's up, Password? How's it going, man? The class action? Yeah, we could try to take a look at that. Voice is a tad quiet. Thanks, babe. Let me take a look at that. Let me just turn the music down a little bit. Hello, hello. I might just need to move the mic closer to me. Yeah, let's try it like this. Thanks, babe. Let me have any of you guys in the chat looked for yourself? Go on BSC scan. It's not that hard. I can actually show you guys today if you know, if you haven't done it too often. I can show you some of the basics so you can get in there and start looking at it yourself. It's actually not that hard to do, and it opens up a world of questions and connections that are very interesting. I'll show you guys kind of what I'm looking at right now. Just give me 1 second to finish setting up the stream. Your job is this, so yeah, it is. I'm making no money right now. Safemoon Maxi's already kind of shading Reflex announcement. Sad. Okay. You guys do me a favor, hit that like button, support me. The click of a button doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't give me any money. It just helps the algorithm possibly reach more people. It's not even guaranteed. That's fine with me. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, sorry guys, I'm ready now. I wish there was a way to like set this up beforehand. But how I've got it, I can't quite do that. I'm still 100% Safemoon, but I'm a pretty open-minded person, so I look at it from many perspectives. That's totally cool, Ghost. You know, I've never been about like convincing people to think a certain way. You know what I mean? Except for like realistically. It's like come to your own conclusions, but be open to information. Don't try to shut people down. All right. So, yeah, I'm working on a video, and the video is going to be covering pretty important stuff, which I think is getting down to the heart. Can you guys hear me pretty well? Let me know. Can you hear me pretty well? It's getting down to the heart of what happened with Safemoon. And I'll just show you guys something I'm looking at right now. So we see all-time high right here. Is May 12th, right? So all-time high was May 12th. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. And then major dump, right? For the next, week. Just super massive dumps happening over the next week. So kind of what I'm looking at is, actually, I'd like to ask you guys real fast in the chat, like, what do you guys think caused this massive dump from the all-time high? For those of you guys that were there, for those of you guys that, probably more active during this time, from your perspective, what was it that caused this massive dump from the all-time high? What up, Crypto Control? What's up, Gold Eagle? How's it going? Lima Charlie, CC? LC? I don't know what LC means. Let's chat. So I just kind of want to see the chat, and then I'm going to go over something that I think could have had a big impact on the huge dump in Safemoon's price. Actually, there's one other thing. Well, we got listed on Bitmart in like April, right? So it was like right before all this, before the huge spike up that we got listed on Bitmart. Too many people made too much money. All the influencers and team dumping, profit taking, devs dumped. Respectfully, the project is over. Then the team were all scammers. Okay, well, let me just show you some interesting time frames. So March 12th, right? Or I'm sorry, May 12th. If we go here, Papa was doing a massive migration on May 12th. Here's a post from it. Okay, this one's June 4th. This one should be it. Yeah, okay, this is May 11th. And Papa said, everyone, for transparency, I want to do this announcement. We are doing a major migration from V1 to V2 liquidity pools today. And we know that this is where all the Safemoon was being collected for the Bitmart and other exchanges, but Bitmart was just the major one where they made all their tether, right? And this happened the day before the price started to tank. So I'm like, I feel like there's all these untold stories that haven't really been brought to light yet. And that's what I'm trying to do, even though, you know, I don't know. But Papa says the BSC network is running slow. When I have transaction IDs, they will be posted for community verification. May Satoshi and his infinite wisdom bless you all on a journey to the moon. So that happened. And let me, I need to pull up something else actually. So that was May 12th. Let me pull something else up real quick to show you guys at exactly around this time. I don't have the screenshot saved, so I have to like go find it. I think it's this one. If they actually believed in Safemoon, they would have held to collect those reflections. That's a good point. Plus, what really is the use? That initial all-time high was mainly caused by the Moby dip, so Safemoon Whale sold most his bag at the time as well. Think he knew about Celeste, but closed his account and sold off at the same time. Ben Phillips. Safemoon Whale didn't sell till way later from the all-time high. Okay, cool. So if you guys look right here, Thomas leaked some screenshots. And these screenshots prove a couple things, right? Unless you're just super skeptic. Come to your own conclusions. For me, it proves a couple things. It proves that this is John's wallet. John said, this is... Let me make it a little bigger for you for a second. Wish there was a better way to control the size of the screen than having to like manually do this each time. This is in April, right? And it's John telling Papa, these are messages to Papa, the Gabe wallet. He sends him the Gabe wallet April 14th multiple times, April 8th, and he says on April 8th that this is my wallet. Well, the other wallet, this Gabe is the Tano wallet. Literally, we have John Crony saying this is my wallet, referring to the Gabe. Now, we know it's his wallet because you can just see all the evidence for it. And then people say, well, unless John says it himself, then it's not true. And then we show a screenshot of him saying it that Thomas leaked, and they say it's fabricated. It's like, okay, well, come to your own conclusions, I guess. But that's not really the important part. The important part is that, once again, what we're talking about is this date right here where the price really tanked, which was around May 12th. They just did the migration, right? And they used the migration, the Safemoon from the migration, to sell over the counter to exchanges for the market makers, which, because of this leaked screenshot, you can find the market makers. And this is kind of what I'm looking at right now. So on May 12th, once again, we're right at all-time high right here, right? Captain Hodl Timon then also yeet 200 billion to the normal Bitmart market maker account. So at this time, the contract owner for Safemoon was Thomas. It was Papa. And I'll show you guys this. He said, you make it over to the Iron Bank, okay. Then he missed a couple calls, and then John's freaking out and is like, where'd you go, dude? This needs to be done. Time now. Calls him 3 more times. Papa finally called him back. I don't know what he was doing. And then he tells him the amounts that are needed, which is, once again, this is actually like really helpful that Thomas leaked this. Maybe other people were able to find this through other means, but it helped me find these addresses. So John says we need 200 billion right here. Oh, wait, you guys can't see that. Let me fix that. So yeah, it says we need 200 billion to the normal Bitmart market maker account, right? So we should see that on the blockchain. This is May 12th, the day of all-time high. This is the day after Papa did a massive migration. And then he also says that we need 4, let's see, how much is that? 1,000 million, billion, 4 trillion to the new address, 200 billion to the normal Bitmart market maker account. Because he leaked these, we know that the normal Bitmart market maker account is this address right here that, once again, I have to scroll up for you guys to see. The OXC, right here, OXC29C09. This is the normal Bitmart market maker account. So we're being given two addresses here at the all-time high, and one is the normal Bitmart market maker account that's going to be received 200 billion, but then he also gives the address for it, which is the OXC52919. But then he also says do 4 trillion to the new address. This is the day at our all-time high. And I think that, you know, I haven't confirmed it yet, but I think that this might have played a massive role in the lowering of the price. And I'm just trying to work all that out right now, because if we go to the all-time high, it was May 12th, and then just massive drops in the price for the next couple weeks. So we have the day before May 12th, Papa doing a migration from the PancakeSwap V1 to the PancakeSwap V2. And I'm also trying to really look at that because I think both, you could use both at the time, right? You could use either one. And what that did, if you move a massive amount of remove liquidity, I guess I should show you guys that. Let me pull that up. Try to make this so you guys can see. I'm going to put all this in a video and make it very easily digestible and entertaining. But these videos take a long time to make and a lot of research. So we need to look at we're going to pull up that wallet. Another thing we can look at that's really interesting is the Gabe wallet, which we know is John's, like selling. Crypto Control, what's up, Mitch Bromwell in the chat? How's it going, man? Crypto Control going to be one of the expert witnesses soon here with all the blockchain research and practice. Oh, I appreciate that, man. No, I'm just like a noob. Anybody can go spend time on here and start to figure stuff out. How do they get so many tokens to sell during these migrations? D-Libby, it's because they, instead of, that's what I wanted to show you was the remove liquidity thing. So let me, sorry. Yeah, let's show that first, the remove liquidity, which is being done the day before. Yeah, that's what I should show you guys next, my bad. Which is going to be Papa. The contract owner Papa, that's what we need. Okay, cool. So, and so yeah, real quickly, I just want to give an overview of for those of you guys that want to do this. You can go to BSC Scan and you can create an account, and then you can search these addresses that you find, the Gabe, the Devil, the Safemoon contract, Safemoon dev, and go look at this for yourself. You can click on the age right here and it'll show the actual date. And then you can click here to see the hashes, and you can see if it's going into a wallet or out to a wallet. You can kind of get an idea. And on the very right, it'll show what the token is, whether it's a stable coin or whether it's Safemoon or whatnot. So we're looking for around May 12th. We'll be seeing the remove liquidity function, which is on the V1 PancakeSwap. Let's go Crypto Control. What's up, Mad Scientist? How's it going, man? Yeah, this is gonna take me a while to make again, but I kind of just wanted to do a stream and hang out with you guys and show you guys a little bit of what I'm looking at before I put it all into a video. Whoops, I passed it, my bad. There's a lot of transactions. Here, give me 1 second. I have it saved. I can just pull it up. Remove liquidity. Yeah, it was 1300 BNB. Another annoying thing about this is when it shows the price of the BNB, it shows today's current price. So like you have to go back and literally look up the date to get the accurate amount of what the price was back then. If there's a big change in the price for BNB. Okay. There's remove liquidity on September 2nd. What's kind of interesting is the Gabe wallet actually sends out to Bitmart. It sends its Safemoon first, and then the contract owner Papa starts to send it the Safemoon that it needs to do what it's doing. So I was going to show you guys the remove liquidity. Sorry, guys, I'm trying not to give away something. Even Reflex is delivering over Safemoon. Simon, how's that Safemoon loss going for you? Oh, Simon, digging through the blockchain, CC found fake FUD for more clickbait YouTube ad revenue. Simon, if you have any balls, please come up and have a conversation with me. Also, Simon, are you DeFi rich? Is that who you are, or you're a different guy? And I always say this. It's so funny that you are worried about me. If I get 4,000 views, I'm making about maybe 30 to 40 bucks. That's taxed like 20 to 30%. You're worried about like 30 bucks of 2 weeks worth of research and about 2 days worth of editing. But you don't care at all about $20 million coming from the Safemoon army's pockets being spent on houses and other things. Do you see a problem with that, or does that seem pretty normal to you? Pretty rational thinking right there. Okay, sorry guys, give me a second. Contract owner, Bitmart market maker. Okay. And we just need May 12th. May 12th. Okay. Why is it not showing up for him? Showing the hash, but it's not showing what it did. John is just using everyone's cash instead of Kleenex with his lotion because he can. I know this is going to come off dumb, but do they have to pay any fees like us while transferring or switching from BNB? Just curious with the CEOs of cryptocurrencies and 10% fees. No, they can turn it off. They can exclude it from fees if they want to. That was one of the functions of their contract. It was exclude from rewards and exclude from fee. Okay. So right here is on May 12th. Once again, we're kind of looking at that May 12th date because we had this massive run up, which was honestly insane from the 2nd to the right around the 12th, which just massive run up in the price. And obviously within a couple of weeks that was completely dumped on. And it was right around this time that on May 11th, Papa did a massive migration from PancakeSwap V1 to PancakeSwap V2. And it was those funds that were being used to send to Bitmart. They were being sold over the counter. And it was during this time that they started to get Tether. And there's a couple things that I believe, based on what I can see. And there's people that are way smarter than me that can do this, and I'm always open to being wrong or whatever. So in my mind, I don't know if the amount of Safemoon being sold over the counter to Bitmart can make up for the 19 to 20 million Tether. So when we sell our BNB from our liquidity, instead of migrating the Safemoon and the BNB to the new liquidity pool, which is what should have been done, it would have helped the stability of the price, right? The price wouldn't have dropped so much. But we had a liquidity pool PC1 or PCS V1 that just lost a ton of liquidity, and we also had V2, which had a spike because they used the BNB to make a buy on V2 PCS, and then they took the Safemoon they didn't migrate and the Safemoon that they got from buying with the BNB. Which in my mind, that means that we had a liquidity pool that lost a ton of liquidity, meaning the price would drop extremely fast comparatively if that liquidity was in there. And then we also created basically a fake price movement up from using the BNB to buy between these two different liquidity pools. And then that Safemoon was being sold to the exchange. And then I personally think that the 10% tax on Bitmart was being collected in Tether, and that all of that 10% was being sent to John. But I'm not sure on those numbers yet. I'm trying to dig deeper into that. But I think that the only way to account for that is just a massive amount. It's not just the selling of the Safemoon, but also a taking of the fees. But I'm really trying to get the numbers down to really get an accurate look at what was 5% of all the volume that happened on Bitmart, and what does that look like, and what was 10%. Another thing is if it's going to wallets that we haven't seen, that are not connected to anything, it could be even worse. But it was right around May 12th that bad things happened, but it was right around May 11th that the migration happened, and May 12th that Papa sent Bitmart this, right here on May 12th, from this leaked screenshot that I showed you guys. On May 12th, he's saying, I need you to send 200 billion to the normal Bitmart market maker account, and then 4 trillion to the new address. And we can see right here that the contract owner, Papa, who is the contract owner of Safemoon at the time, sends out 200 billion on May 12th to the normal Bitmart market maker account, which is what John called that. And then he also sends out 4 trillion to the normal the new that's what I called it, the new Bitmart market maker account, but the new account is what John called it. So for me, I think that what I'm really trying to dig into right here is, did this have a severe impact on the price? Was it caused by them and their migrations of the liquidity and they're selling to Bitmart? That's kind of what we're looking at. So thanks for the $2, Mitch Bromwell. You're the best, man. Mitch, don't you like work at a space station or something like that? You like have some kind of crazy job? I think he was unaware of that. Appreciate the answer. No problem, man. I really wonder what really happened with Bitmart hack and the tokens not replaced. Shady market maker accounts. Yeah, I've heard people asking about that as well. So it goes to the contract owner at the time, which was Papa, to the normal Bitmart market maker account. The normal Bitmart market maker account sends out to the Bitmart market maker account the Safemoon that's being sent to it. That's what I called it, at least. So yeah, if we go to the beginning, we see Gabe sends out a lot of Safemoon to the normal Bitmart market maker account. And then the normal Bitmart market maker account sends out to the Bitmart market maker. And what it gets in return is Tether. Gabe gets Tether back. So another thing that I was really trying to look at is how much Safemoon is being sent out to the Bitmart market maker and how much Tether is it getting back. And that would honestly require a lot of effort, because when they're doing their over-the-counter trade, this is just based on what I can see. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but when they're doing that trade, I don't think that necessarily it's an instant, like, hey, we send you this and you send us the Tether. I think it's like, we send you the Safemoon and then over a certain amount of time, you send us Tether. But I don't think they're only sending Tether for the Safemoon that they're getting. I think they're also sending Tether for the 5% liquidity fee on Bitmart that's sent to the developers to be added into the liquidity pool for Safemoon. I think they're also getting that, but because Bitmart is collecting 5% Tether for reflections, it's like it's using that 5% Tether to buy Safemoon. And probably what they're collecting would allow Safemoon to sell the Safemoon that they need to do their reflections at a much cheaper price comparatively to, how much that Safemoon would have been worth. And they said that every exchange just agreed to do reflections this way, where they collect in their own token and then we send them Safemoon from the liquidity pool at a discounted price for the Tether, but they're keeping the Tether. They're keeping that fee. So another interesting thing, and let me get this pulled up. If you guys have any questions or whatnot, you're welcome to. I'm just really just hanging out with you guys and kind of showing you guys where I'm at. Like, there's a lot. I went from feeling like we made a pretty good point, and that I wanted to map out on the chart all of the different buys and sells and everything that happened. And then I got to the point where I realized that there was actually, like I keep saying, more that hasn't been expressed. I think there's a whole story that hasn't been fully understood. And I think it's important to express that before moving on or moving forward. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Safemoon. Really, I just want Safemoon to do something. Just do anything. Shut us down. But that's, I have all this coming out in a very clear, concise video. I just have to put all the pieces together, and it'll be another great video. Okay. So here's the Gabe wallet. When you search the Gabe wallet, you have to do it on Etherscan to see its transactions. If you search Gabe wallet on BSC, you're not going to see all the Tether. And that's the mistake that some people make when they go try to look at this. So it looks like the really like first big amount of tether that the Gabe wallet got was on June 3rd. Actually, no, it got $150,000 worth of tether on April 24th. So right around here. Oh, I need a drink. Off topic, but did you hear from Safemoon Will after he evaporated? We talked a little bit. Yeah, he went to like Puerto Rico. He's in a video you can find. Right now, we're approaching the official delivery phase, 2023 going into 2024. Safemoon will be something, and people will regret fudding for a year. That's the thing, is I'm not going to regret fudding. And I've been saying this. If the team hasn't been treating the Safemoon army how they should, which I don't think they have. If you think they have, that's fine. I think we've overhyped things, and we haven't been transparent with the liquidity pool spending. I think being a maxi just enables that behavior. Like if they can do whatever they want and nobody questions them and they defend them relentlessly, even against factual information on the blockchain, you just enable bad behavior that doesn't lead to things getting done on First Safemoon. So I think you should FUD if it's true. You don't. People are convinced that FUD is a bad thing, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Well, if a team is doing things that cause fear, uncertainty, and doubt, then FUD becomes reality. And to talk about FUD is to tell the truth. The team leaving, the funds being spent, the projects failing, the liquidity pool being used after they told us they would, let us know when they used it, and then they didn't tell us. These things, if you ignore this, you enable even more bad behavior. But I honestly, because of CoffeeZilla and others, and probably myself a little bit, and mostly because of the team, it's like if the team wasn't doing these things, there would be nothing to FUD about. But we're FUDding about what they've done. All that had to happen to prevent this was for John to say, hey guys, we are using liquidity to sell reflections to Bitmart so that they can continue to do reflections, and we're going to be using those profits to pay for projects. And right now we're going to be paying for the billboard. We're also going to be paying for HQ, and we also need to pay ourselves, and and I need to get a house in this area. All you needed was transparency. That's kind of my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm like, you could make a rug pull, and it wouldn't be a bad thing as long as you told everybody it was a rug pull. You say, guys, I'm rug pulling on this day. I'm going to rug pull. You're honest with everybody about what it is. So it's like, it's not even, from talking to other software developers or Solidity developers, it's not that uncommon of a thing, from what I understand, for projects when they get listed on exchanges to make a profit off of the tax on the exchange and to use that to pay themselves. And so the problem really wasn't necessarily that, in my opinion, that they took the tax from Bitmart. The problem was that they weren't transparent about it. They weren't open about it. And it could have been out of fear of FUD. But what I'm worried about is like, how much of role did that Bitmart deal? How much of role did selling the liquidity, like that we all, you think about this, guys. We all paid that tax. And we paid 5% thinking of every buy, sell, transfer before they changed the tax around it was meant for the price to not drop so drastically for ourselves, which plays a huge role, right, in the future of Safemoon. If the price drops a lot, people lose interest. People are like Grove right now. People are super interested in it. Why? Because the price is going up. If the price wasn't going up, people would stop talking about it. So it is like, what role did you guys play with your actions and your profiting off of Safemoon have on the effect of the price, which also affected the growth of Safemoon. And it's just the fact that it's coming from liquidity, whether it's our liquidity being sold to exchanges, which is just not what it was for. The liquidity was not like I start to get like a frustration with myself because it feels like we're all asleep to the reality of the situation. Like even myself, we pay that tax so that the price would be stable. That's part of like what gave us faith in the project, is that we're all paying this tax that is going to provide stability of the price, and so that it won't go up so much, but it also so that it won't go down so much when the huge whales sell off. There's liquidity there to make it not such a huge impact on the price, right? What happens when you remove millions of dollars of liquidity of BNB and use it for a buy, and then you take the Safemoon and sell it to at a discounted price to exchanges, and you keep the profit for yourself? What happens? What happens when you take the tax from massive volume happening on Bitmart and you take that for yourself? And that could have been added to our liquidity. And it's not so much the doing of those things, I think, that is the problem. Like I said, it's just the lack of transparency around those things that has created, for me, to put me in this position where I'm at. Like, I want to cover Safemoon positively. I don't want to be blocked. I don't want to be at odds with people, but I can't ignore that and just go about my Safemoon math videos. That needs to be addressed, and that provides another more concerning thing in my perspective, which is, why hasn't this been addressed? Your entire Safemoon army is at your throat. If we go to John's latest post about the 32 podcast, it's just him getting his ass ripped over and over and over again in the comments. It's like, damn, Safemoon army is just not putting up with your guys' bullcrap right now. And it's because you can't address something that shouldn't be related to lawsuits at all. Is it really, you can't come out and explain the Bitmart liquidity funds? You can't explain that the funds haven't been used for for selfish reasons and that it was all spent in good faith? Or explain why you didn't tell the Safemoon army, because they said, we will let you guys know, and they just never did, right? So it starts to, once again, paint a scary picture. If John had a good answer for the Bitmart funds and the millions of dollars and the $2 million house and all that stuff, why would he not give it while the army is extremely divided over this and people are giving up on Safemoon? It's having a huge negative impact on Safemoon to not address these things. And at that point, logically speaking, it's like, okay, the most likely answer is that you don't have a good answer. And if you were to say the truth of what happened with the Bitmart fund and what you took from selling the Safemoon to the exchanges and from taking the fee from the exchanges and that tether, that massive amounts of tether, that go to the Gabe wallet, that go to the Dev wallet, that off-ramp, and possibly other wallets we don't know about, there's not a great explanation for it. And it kind of leaves us with a position that it's like, what do you do? What do you do at that point? Hey, Zero Cool, how's it going, man? Grove will dump soon, also not as legit as you think. Yeah, I haven't bought into it, and when you hear all the hype about the price going up, that's like possibly a scary time to get in. I hope it goes up for your guys' sake, for anybody that's in Grove, but there's just people waiting to dump, right? And I might regret not throwing a little bit of money in there, but every time I put money in something, it tanks, so that's why I say, like, I'm doing you guys a favor by not buying it. Facts aren't funny, neither is asking questions. Exactly, Dookie. Great name, by the way, Dookie. Make a great point, and then your name is Dookie. Personally, I think they should have never took the liquidity out to pay for stuff. Yeah. Honestly, if they just give me back my money that I invested, I'd be happy. I will not sell at a loss. What up, Brody? What's up, Jack of all trades? How's it going, man? So I think that there's a couple things that I really want to look at. One is, how much did John sell Safemoon during this time? Two is, what is the effect on the price of the migrations and of the selling of Safemoon and of taking the taxes from exchanges and using it for yourself? Did selling and migrating, because this happened on May 12th. This is where I'm like, I think there's something here, but nobody's really talking about it. May 11th, Papa did a massive migration. See right here, guys, May 11th, and I know I said this earlier. A massive migration a major migration from V1 to V2 liquidity pools today. This is the day before the price started to do a massive dump from all-time high. And we also have on the blockchain, Papa sending out 4 trillion tokens to the Bitmart market makers' accounts. So it comes down to like, did removing all that liquidity have an impact on our price dropping so much when these sells started to happen? Or what if you guys had actually migrated liquidity? Would this drop in price have happened so much? Or if you guys had put the tether that you were receiving from the people on Bitmart paying that 10% tax that was it wasn't said 10% tax for funding, for financial expenses. It was 5% to reflections, 5% to be sent to the developers to be added for liquidity. I don't know if any of that was added for liquidity, but I think that when you see 19, 20 million going off ramping, is that not dishonest to say that? Is that not dishonesty? Is that not creating FUD of your own project? Maybe there's a good answer for that, and I'm open to it, but I just don't see it. Hey, Maddie, how's it going? So, yeah, we do see the massive migration on May 11th, and then we see Papa sending out that 4 trillion and that 200 billion to the Bitmart deal, and this is where John started to get his millions of dollars of tether during this time. But I want to know, what did that massive migration of liquidity that wasn't a migration? It just took the liquidity, sold the BNB, took all the Safemoon, and sold it to an exchange. I mean, that's kind of a big deal if you think about that. We all pay the tax. We created Safemoon and BNB for our liquidity with the swap in Liquify. It took a bunch of Safemoon. It sold half. So therefore, our fee created the liquidity. They didn't create the liquidity. We did through paying the fee, right? And instead of migrating that BNB and that Safemoon, which would have helped with the stability of the price, they sold the BNB. It was a sell or a buy of Safemoon on PancakeSwap version 2. So not only did they take the Safemoon that was supposed to be migrated, but they took the BNB, sold it for Safemoon, created a buy on the V2 PancakeSwap, and then took all of that Safemoon and sold it to an exchange and kept the profits of Tether, which should have went back to our liquidity pool. And I think that right there I think it'd be very hard to like mathematically show the impact that would have had. I'm going to do my best to try to do that, of why the price dumped right here. And if you start to combine that with, celebrities being paid and Safemoon Dev pulling liquidity and how much they continue to send to Bitmart from that point on. Like, I don't know how much in total they sent, but it would be good to know the dollar value of Safemoon that was sent to Bitmart and the dollar value received of the wallets that we can see. And I think that this is going to paint a good picture of, because look, think about this, 19 to $20 million in Tether going to the Gabe wallet. Where is that coming from? What is the impact of that not going to where it's intended to go? You know what I mean? And where's the transparency on this? We have June 3rd, $1 million of Tether to Gabe. And then it just, by June 12th, it starts to get massive. 3 million. So on June 12th and June 13th, the Gabe wallet got sent $3 million in Tether twice in a row. That's $6 million in 2 days. And people are worried about me making 20 to 30 bucks on a video that I spent weeks on. Give me a break. $3 million 4 days later. And it's like, what would be the impact if this was actually going to where it was intended to go? I think that a lot of people try to make excuses. It's like, okay, maybe the market maker was just making such a profit, killing by overcharging and selling at different prices on the exchange that they were making $20 million. I don't think so. I don't think it can account for all of that. So yeah, we have the screenshot of John saying, "This is my wallet." 6ABE. He says, "Gabe wallet. This is my wallet." Anybody who's fighting that at this point, I don't really know what to say. I don't know, John. If you have to have John has to come to your house and say the Gabe wallet is my wallet, and even then you'd be like, I don't know, you're a fudder. You know what I mean? June 13th and 14th, it was sent 2 million. So, but beyond that, it's another interesting thing I feel like is the Gabe wallet and the selling of Safemoon that it does. But I think that'll be on BSC. All that money had and blew it. At least now we know why Safemoon will never reach its all-time high again. I would give everything I have to see Safemoon devs in jail. Like, that's what I keep saying, guys. Like, I want Safemoon to succeed. I just think that that's not done by ignoring problems and overhyping things that aren't going to help. I think it's done by accountability and truth. I think the more, and it's happening. I'm not saying it's because of me. I probably play somewhat of a role, but because of their actions and what they've done, people are having enough of them. And this has been happening over a long period of time, from the wallet not getting released to the core team leaving, to the exchange and blockchain not coming out, to Ryan quitting, to exchange being delayed, to the fail of the birthday month. It's like they are creating the FUD, but they never get held accountable for the FUD they create. And anybody who talks about the FUD that they've created gets attacked as being a fudder. And it's like, if I always make this point, but if talking about what has happened is FUD, then how much worse is it doing those things? You know? And I really, that's why I'm like, I'm not trying to destroy Safemoon. I'm not trying to hurt investors. I really do believe that the more people wake up and stop enabling their bad behavior, that the more likely they are to quit messing around and to deliver these products. And I think that is their game plan right now is, holy crap, nobody talk. John, guys, nobody talk about the Gabe wallet. Nobody talk about the Tether. Nobody talk about the Bitmart deal. We're not even going to touch on that subject. But what our game plan is to release the products, ignore all the what they call noise or FUD, and hopefully we can just ignore this and release products. And once the price starts to go up, or maybe not even the price starts to go up, but maybe once products start to come out, people will forget about it. I know the maxis will, because if Safemoon Twitter account puts a little emoji next to their name, everybody freaks out. So if they release a product, then they're going to freak out, even if the price doesn't go up. Like, yes, we did it. And like, that's fine if you want to do that, but don't think that that is destroying the FUD. Like, no matter what they do in the future, it can't destroy what they've done in the past. This is why they say FUDders are going to regret it. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going to regret lying to myself and other people by not talking about these things. And you think that you're helping Safemoon by cheering them on, but no. It's like cheering on like a fat guy who's dying of diabetes, and he just keeps eating, and he's just eating over, and you're like, yes, you're gonna be so healthy. And it's like, that's not gonna help him. You need to tell him that he's fat, he's gonna die, and he needs to stop eating and start working out. And it's like, that's what I feel like. You know, people talk about John eating the liquidity pool or whatever. It's like, stop eating that. You're gonna kill this project. Stop treating investors this way. You're gonna kill this project. And the more people that enable that behavior, you're part of the problem. It's the opposite. You're not the solution. And I understand the thinking behind it is you think that you believe something that is not true because you don't know. You know what I mean? Nobody knows the future. You don't know that you're going to live another day. No one knows that. Do you think it's likely? Well, yeah, but could a freak accident happen and you die? Yes, you don't know. We don't know if Safemoon's going to moon or if Safemoon's going to fail. But they treat it as if they know that Safemoon's going to moon one day. And then they judge everything based off of this assumption that itself has no foundation, right? And I think that's the core of the problem. And it's fueled by, like, you know, TNG Systems said, their desire to be rich is emotionally attached to their investment. And trust me, I get it. Life sucks. Jobs suck. everything sucks. Like in the sense that life is hard and it's hard to get by, and there's all kinds of, and just feeling like you're a slave at a job, spending all your time somewhere you hate with people that you might not like. I totally get it. We're all in that same boat. I understand the desire to be free from what feels like slavery, or to be financially just okay. I know a lot of people, they don't even really want to be rich. They just want to be able to not feel like a slave. So obviously I understand the desire to believe that Safemoon is going to moon one day. But I think that taking it to delusional levels is not good for your decision making, or for the project. It's not good to delusionally support something. You know what I mean? And if we ignore everything the team has ever done and make excuses for everything they've ever done and hype up everything that they're doing, that is delusional enabling of bad behavior. So I'm really happy to see, as much as like it kind of bothers me, because I love Safemoon, guys. I was a huge supporter and I still am. I just can't do it delusionally. But it's great to see people waking up. And you go to the Safemoon's post and you go to John's post and you see people, and you go to the Reddit and you go everywhere and YouTube videos. You guys are upset. You guys are frustrated that of what the team has done. And I think that's the best thing to happen, because like I said, this puts pressure on them to not do those things in the future because we're not enabling them, but to also do what they should be doing the entire time, is like, don't take your time and don't put out things that don't matter. And this is where I have a serious problem with John. And it sucks because I wish John would talk to me. And I know that he won't, and he has no reason to, but I wish that he would just agree to like call me or something and say, hey, I'll sign an NDA. Let's have a conversation. And I want to hear your side of the story. But it's like, I'm here to support Safemoon and even John. If you would be honest with us, and explain what's going on. Hey, what's up, Hyperbeam? How's it going? What employees? There aren't any? Yeah, there's like 10 or something. Bitmart deal, red flag. Number AMAs, red flag. Hey, what's up, Craig Johnson? Dodging real answers is the biggest red flag. It's very scary, right? Like the fact that they're not answering the biggest elephant in the room. It's like, hey, what's this Bitmart deal? It's like, okay, well, the longer you don't answer something that's destroying your community, the more it feels like it's true. And I hope there's an answer for it. So yeah, I've really got to pee, guys. I'm gonna go pee. Oh my god, he took a piss. What a futter. Don't stop asking questions, man. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been summing up this entire time is, unless I'm reaching the end of what might be my time with Safemoon, I kind of want to be there for you guys as investors who crave a realistic voice within the space, because it's severely lacking. And if it is there, it's not done professionally, you know. It's done by people that are mocking and hateful, and you lose the impact of what you're trying to say if you're mocking and hateful about it, right? So, and I'm not trying to say, look how amazing I am, but I honestly do feel that somebody who can respectfully and honestly ask questions and have fair balanced scales of judgment towards people they don't like and people they do like, that's a very trustworthy source of information. And especially for somebody who's willing to admit they're wrong and not trying to proven idea. I also am not over invested in Safemoon, which people say, oh, you've got a small bag. Well, that's kind of a good thing, because if I had way too much invested, like, I don't know, other people who lead Twitter spaces, then there would be this bias that I'm trying to convince people that Safemoon is the next big thing because I've overinvested. It becomes like possibly a source of an untrustworthiness of perspective because of that. So we need to look at the Gabe wallet. This is something else interesting, is the Gabe wallet on BSC. Let me pull that up real fast. But it's just like, dude, give us an answer. Explain this. Like, I'd be okay with like almost everything if they would have just explained the tether, and if it was a good answer, it was like, okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was. You know what I mean? Un momento, guys. Okay, I remember how to do this. I have to go here, and then I gotta search. This is kind of an annoying thing. If you go to a wallet, well, I'll show you guys real fast, and you're having trouble finding certain transactions that you're looking for, if you click on this wallet right here, you can find the token that you want to see of the transactions of that token within that wallet, and it makes it a lot more easier to look at, but you have to track it down. So right now we're looking at the Gabe wallet. Wait a second. Okay, yeah. Dang it, I gotta redo it. Oh, no, it did take me back. Cool. But one big thing I have with John is like, there's a couple things. The success of Safemoon was not because Safemoon put out a product. You know what I mean? We haven't put out anything. And so I think that John sees the success of Safemoon as being a storyteller, and that he thinks that the storytelling of communicating a vision through storytelling is what has made Safemoon so big. And which might sound great, but when you look at what stories are being told, it's it's Project Phoenix, it's the Owls, it's Freedom of the Unbanked, it's, you know, mesh networks, it's using all these amazing sounding, intelligent sounding words in a very broad sense that doesn't describe specifically what exactly it is that we're doing that's going to actually make us the next innovative tech company, you know. So here it is, right here is the Safemoon. It's the OX807, and now I can see by clicking here all the interactions of Safemoon with the Gabe wallet. And there's 23 pages of it. And I almost thought about just doing a video on this itself right here. So we see that on April 8th, the first interactions with the Gabe wallet was the contract owner, which was Papa, sending Gabe a trillion tokens. Then Gabe sells 10,000 and then sends 10,000 to the normal Bitmart market maker account, which is what I was saying is the very beginning, from what I can see, that Gabe is the initial supplier of Safemoon to the Bitmart market maker, and then it switches to the to Papa. Every time I say Papa, it makes me think of freaking Stranger Things now. What's the date of the last questionable transaction? I don't know. I'd have to look at that. I saw one recently. Safemoon is like feeding times at the zoo. I wasn't Safemoon from March. I was a huge believer. I lost faith in the project. Realized there's no real utility in driver side. Well, that's my biggest problem is like, if you think that the best interaction with your community is to tell them a story, to communicate a vision that makes them so hyped that they spend money, that's not success. That's like lying to people and not delivering. You know what I mean? And I think that that's how John sees Safemoon. So that's going to be kind of like the main theme of my one of my next big videos that I make. CIA psyops brought to a marketing approach. Yeah, you say it really well, Maddie. So yeah, we see the Gabe. Papa sends him what looks like to be 3 trillion tokens on April 14th. Gabe sends out to the Bitmart market maker before that 50 billion tokens. So Gabe is supplying Bitmart, which is kind of interesting. So it's on April 9th. When did Gabe start to receive Tether? April 23rd is when it receives its first Tether. So that's so interesting because it says that Bitmart was to send liquidity, take 5%, send it to the developers to be added for liquidity. So, I mean, how clear as day is that Bitmart is sending the Gabe wallet Tether, and that Gabe wallet is supplying Bitmart with Safemoon? It does that for a little bit. See, at a certain point it stops. To the normal Bitmart market maker account right here. And it's like small amounts and big amounts. But there's actually something interesting that kind of starts to happen here. Go away. Damn it. So yeah, the Gabe sends out. I believe this is the last time. So it'll be around May 4th, I believe, is the last time that the Gabe wallet supplies the Bitmart market maker account with Safemoon. And then from here, you actually start to see that the Gabe wallet is buying Safemoon. See, it buys Safemoon all the way from May to May 19th. But this is also interesting because, like we said, if this is John's wallet confirmed, where we have him saying, this is my wallet, that means that John sells Safemoon May 21st. It means that on May 21st, which would have been right in this period of time right here, that the Gabe wallet was selling so it sold 1,000 million billion. Now these are John's tokens, and that's what people say, but still, I'm not saying that John doesn't have a right to buy and sell his own project, but when you say your name is Captain HODL and when you're kind of trying to convince your army to HODL and you're selling, it doesn't look good. So I think it's a huge thing to look into that I don't think anybody's really talked about. So I thought this is almost worth its own video in itself, is to see how much did John buy and how much did he sell and what were the amounts. It's a lot of work that goes into that, and I only make like 20 or 30 bucks, but it's how I'm choosing to spend my time right now. Yeah, so 21st. Now he sells multiple times right there. He keeps selling on May 21st. And then he does buy as well. That's so interesting. Was the Gabe wallet excluded from fees? Because then you could be actually trading. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I don't know if this is actually the right way to check it or if it'll still show. I'd have to get with somebody to figure out if this is still accurate or not. Okay, or maybe not. Maybe he was paying the fees, but I don't see why you'd be buying and selling on at the same time on May 21st. It's a lot of buys and a lot of sells. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I'd have to get somebody smarter than me to look at that. But quite a lot of selling going on the 21st. Here's a ton of buying. Just a massive amount of buying from the Gabe wallet. I meant in small amounts. And then it finally goes to sell. And to me, like, the dates of the selling is what's really important. Just check the sell transactions. 10% fee would show. Oh, you're right. You're right. Dude, that was a massive sell. This is where I'm like, I don't think people have talked about this yet, and I could do a whole video on this to show people, the people that are willing to listen. Not many of the maxis are. So this sell was on June 2nd from the Gabe wallet of Safemoon for 30 billion and then 41 billion. June 2nd. That's 10:30 a.m. I'm not sure if these times match up. But the amounts, so we could actually check the actual amount because it actually might be worth more than that. 400 BNB on June 2nd. Dang. Okay. Well, it was around 366. Yeah, so it actually would have been a lot more than 100,000 because it doesn't show the current price of, or it doesn't show the price of BNB when it happened, which is pretty annoying that it doesn't just like stamp it on there, but it changes with the price of BNB. So it was actually about 140,000, which means that he sold for what probably, oh, this one's even bigger. No, that was it. Okay, so it's probably around 260,000 or something like that. On June 2nd. And then he bought more and sold more again. What? This is like so weird. Another 25,000. That's where I'm like, why would you be buying and selling Safemoon? The fees would be making you lose money, would they? Unless somehow he was able to be excluded from fees at this time, and then at a certain point they turned it back on and he was like basically day trading or something. Hey bro, have you been in touch with Safemoon Joe? Yeah, I'm in touch with him. Where did his wallet get its Safemoon from originally? Yeah, I'd have to go through all of that. It looks like he did buy it though. It doesn't look like he got it from like liquidity pool. Get copyrighted by Final Fantasy. Where it says BNB price, it always shows the price of the day the transaction was made. Where BNB, where is that at? Transaction BNB. Oh, awesome. Thank you. That's where like I'm still learning. That actually means it was worth even more. Holy cow. Let me check that. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. Like, I'm still learning. Not an expert. You guys are awesome. It's kind of hard to learn stuff like this unless somebody sits down and like helps you. So it would have been 400 times 400. Would that be 160,000? Is that what that is? Yeah, so it would have been for actually 160,000. Thank you, man. That really helps. I was like, I thought I had to like look it up on the charts. You are a lifesaver, bro. So that means that this was 160,000 when this sell happened. I need to figure out, and I think that Fonzie would probably know the answer to this and be able to help me find it, if this was excluded from. Actually, maybe one of you guys know in the chat. Is there a way to tell if this paid the fee or not? 3 lines down, bro. BNB price of that day when it's BNB price, it always shows. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Buy, sell, fake volume. Well, you're getting hit with the fee. No problem. Yeah, you're awesome, man. I appreciate that. What's up, Paul? What's up, Paul? Yeah. I usually don't do anything when I'm live streaming. What's going on, man? What up? What up? What's up, man? So that wallet isn't stealing. Don't know about the devil wallet or others. He may have. Well, no, yeah. The purpose of this wouldn't be like, hey, this wallet's stealing. It would just be showing, annoyingly going through all these transactions and showing, especially if it's excluded from fees. Unless, like you said, it was fake volume. But to me, doesn't this just look odd to you guys? Like all these buys, how much are the buys for? Let's pick like one of the large ones. Wait a second, look at this one. I guess this is probably one of the bigger ones, yeah. He bought 200 BNB worth of Safemoon. Maybe there's an explanation for it, you know, it's kind of. So it would have been a $65,000 buy during that time. Huh. That's pretty odd. I don't know. There might not be anything wrong there. Unless we see some major sells. But there was a lot of like unwillingness to admit that this is John's wallet, even from the team. Like they said, oh, it's Tano, you know, the moderator's doing their best job to try to deflect. And that's just to me like, okay, is there something to hide there? And that's where I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of stories that haven't been quite told yet. So these are massive sells right here on still on June 2nd. What was going on? You might be right. Is that not weird? Safemoon. I'll have to go through each transaction to like follow as best I can like what was happening. So it's 250 BNB times 401. It's $100,000 sell on June 2nd. There was so much happening on June 2nd, but the weird thing is on June 2nd, you know, if you have all that fake volume, I guess the price was going up June 2nd. I don't even know what to make of all that. I kind of like this song from Little Nightmares. I'm just hoping I don't get copyrighted. Crypto Control, what do you think about how silent the devs have been the only talk when they're doing something shady? I think it speaks volumes, you know. Sometimes silence is louder than words, is what people say. And with probably the worst FUD that I think Safemoon's seen, because when CoffeeZilla was doing these videos, he was talking about you know, he went through Thomas. He went through what appeared to be Thomas being paid from Kyle, which was out of the liquidity pool. He went through Thomas keeping some from himself when he migrated the tokens, which I haven't looked at that myself yet. He went through Kyle. He went through Ben Phillips. He showed clips of Hank being upset with John and wanting his $3 million severance package. And then in our conversations with him, me and others in Generation Crypto, we weren't defending Safemoon as it was kind of portrayed in the video, but I get it, he has to make a video. We were just saying like, hey, unless you have solid proof of John, this isn't going to have any impact. And I think Coffee was a little bit frustrated with that, but I think it did push him to be like, all right, I'll dig deeper. And that's like his last Safemoon video was like, what was I going to do? Really dig deeper and find even more evidence against John? And then it goes into all the evidence that he found, which the final piece that Coffee never released because he got a letter from Safemoon LLC or whatever, or from their lawyers or whatever, saying do not dox John's house. To me, that says a lot. It's like they're saying don't dox John's house, but Coffee never took it that far because he didn't want to be the person to do that, and neither did I, and neither did Generation Crypto or any other YouTubers. We're like, okay, we're not going to dox John, but we can hint that, and that's what we see a lot of it, because like we can see what he bought. We're hinting towards it without giving it away, and then Safemoon Joe came out and just kind of just made it extremely easy to find John's house, and that's his choice. That's fine. I did hear a good argument for that because it's a company, because they didn't do it under John's name, and because it's under a company LLC, then it should be considered like, I guess, a type of business ownership. So there shouldn't be anything wrong with showing the address of that. But that's just an argument I heard that made a lot of sense to me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. It's not like under John's personal name. It's under the business, which is the one that, is the Ronin LLC for Safemoon. So why are you guys worried about that business being doxxed if it's not John's house? It's like further confirmation, even though I know it's John's house. But we told, basically, yeah, CoffeeZilla, we're like, you have to bring, if you don't have anything against John, people are just going to say this is old FUD. So then we came out with all that information. Papa, I do get the sense that Papa was just doing what John was telling him to, but I also get the sense that Thomas knew that Kyle that took from the LP, and that he knew that that's where he got paid. I could be wrong there. That's just the feeling that I get, because they're like best friends. Kyle and Papa are. I also think it'd be a good idea to like dox Kyle, because that kind of activity should be known, especially if he's going around creating more projects. And I'm gonna start my own. I thought I could map all this out and make it much more digestible and easily seen. So I might start doing that. I literally have the numbers. Let me share this with you guys. Or actually, I have it written down because I went through Safemoon Dev's account and added all his stuff up. Do you want your house to be doxxed? Do I want my house to be doxxed? I doxed my house. I have guns. So if you show up to my house with bad intentions, self-defense will happen. But the point is, I don't have anything to worry about except for some crazy loon. But if I took millions of people's money and spent it on myself, then that's quite a risk that I took for myself to hope that nobody finds out where I live. Okay. So let me read some numbers to you guys that I got for, these are for Safemoon Dev. Remove liquidity. Total that Safemoon Dev removed from liquidity out of all the transactions that you can go see on Safemoon Dev's account, 94 trillion. The total that he added, like add liquidity back in, 39 trillion. That leaves him with 54 trillion left that he removed that he did not add back. 54 trillion tokens, like Coffee said, 7% of the supply. The total that Kyle bought during this time, during the whole time, all his transactions, I went through every transaction and added this up. He bought 65 trillion tokens. That sounds pretty good, right? Maybe he used a lot of that to do what he did, right? How much did he sell? He sold 61 trillion tokens. That would leave him with 4 trillion tokens to work with, right? That are his own. Total transferred, like this is not a transfer, could still be a sell, right? Out of all the tokens he had, but the total he transferred out of all the tokens that got transferred on his account could be used for paying others, gifting, expenses, or just selling for himself by moving it to another wallet that makes it hard to tell on the blockchain. 68 trillion tokens. Out of that 68 trillion tokens that were transferred, 37 trillion were sent to the burn wallet. At least 7 trillion that we know of were sold for a profit towards the end of his last days on like September 18th of last year. And possibly 23 trillion were either sold, business expenses, gifted, or used to pay celebrities. So it took me a long time to add all that up, but I really wanted to make sure before I put out that video that it was good information. So I was reaching out to people saying, hey, what is it? Does this look like this? And then I added it up, and then I went through it multiple times because I don't want to put out a video that misrepresents what happened. Do you want your house to be doxxed? When John talks these days, he says a lot, but also says nothing. I really don't like that either. Like, you can talk very generally about how amazing things are, like life and venture philanthropy and all these things, without saying anything, without really saying anything. And when you also at the same time brag about how what you learned from your gaming company, Tano, was to tell a story and to get that story to go globally, it paints a unfortunate picture that I believe John sees the success of Safemoon through his ability to tell stories and communicate vision. And it wouldn't be a problem if those stories and visions that were being communicated were fulfilled, but they weren't. So what they did was they created hype and created buying pressure from individuals like myself when I heard about the exchange in the blockchain. So yeah, like, I don't think you should see storytelling as a means of growth or something to brag about. You know what I mean? It should be like just honesty, not storytelling. It should just be, being able to communicate honestly what's going on. And that's my thing, is like, Evergrow running into problems. Yes, Sam's out there. You can ask him the worst questions. He'll answer everything and he'll show what he has to show. And if John just did that, like, a lot of my faith would be restored if John came out and explained the Bitmart deal. I'd still be stuck with thinking that he is telling stories and kind of not taking Safemoon products as seriously as he should be, in my opinion. But at least, like, the elephant in the room would have been, like, slain at that point. And I don't mean, like, any argument, because, Maxi type people will jump on any counter argument. They don't care if it's true or not. Just anything that counters what they don't want to hear. Oh, you made a counter argument? Yeah, get shut down, blah, blah, blah. And, that kind of happened with one of Safemoon Knight's videos. And I hate to keep using him as an example, but he did put out a video trying to debunk one of my videos. And he could have just reached out and I would have told him everything. But he made a video. So I was like, well, because you made a video, I'm not going to reach out to you. I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to make a video back. Even though we're cool with each other. But what it demonstrated, it was actually a really great example. And you know what? Why don't we just look at that real fast? I think that this is a great thing to look at. Not that you guys don't already know it. I like Safemoon Knight. He's not disrespectful. A lot of people call him, make fun of him. He's a guy dressing up like Batman making videos. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I could see why people would make fun of that. But at the same time, it's just funny to me. So here's his video. And he basically goes through and tries to debunk the gay wallet never received tether. It's okay if you haven't done this before. I'm still learning. I don't judge people for not knowing information. I judge them for their behavior when they know better. So this entire video, unfortunately, was basically wrong. The tether is easily shown going to the Gabe. Here's the tether, millions of dollars. And Knight had a hard time finding this, and maybe he checked with some other sources who also didn't know how to find this. And that's okay. He made a mistake, but he also put a lot of effort into this, and I'm sure he was embarrassed about this and felt bad. But he left the video up. He apologized. He put his ego aside. The problem is that the comments. Great work, Knight. Once again, you make all fudders look like jokers. So they didn't look for themselves. They didn't ask any questions. They just took what he said because it was a counter argument and believed it. Mitch, thank you for the $5. Watch Safemoon Joe on the official Pulsification channel. It was an eye-opener. We'd love to see you do a collaboration with Mr. Joker about Safemoon. I might be down for that. It's John making the videos. That's what everybody says. Let me read to you guys some of these comments, though, which just clearly demonstrates the mindset that they're in that keeps them from like acknowledging the truth, really. Keep dropping. I keep buying FUD hedgies. You're awesome at what you do. That's fine with that. Keep up the fight. Your videos are just the antidote. We need to combat the FUD. This is what we needed, some facts from the defendants. Thanks, Safemoon Knight. Now, all these facts were wrong. Bro, keep it up. Stay positive. Haters and fudders going to hate. And somebody did say, Casimir said, we're going to need a response video. Crypto Control just made a debunk video. So very quickly, I was able to put out a video to show that this information was wrong. And this isn't to hate on Safemoon Knight, but it's to show how easily they will jump on any counter argument without any effort or research at all. Like, you could just be like, they could just say anything, and even if it's a hypothetical. That's my thing, is that what we're presenting with the blockchain and with John's house and with everything is actual blockchain evidence and just evidence in general from John's own accounts, Twitter accounts and whatnot, claiming leaked screenshots of him claiming the Gabe wallet, the Moondog, so much evidence, and their arguments against that is a hypothetical. Hypotheticals do not deal with actual information because we can make a hypothetical against any type of hypothetical argument. Oh, that's not John's wallet. That's this. Maybe it's a company-run wallet. Maybe they were using it for Moondogs. Okay, it's his wallet. Well, he has the right to do that. And it's just like, to me, what this demonstrates, what should demonstrate to anybody is you're not, if you're thinking like this, you're not seeing correctly, and you're a very unreliable source of determining whether information is legit or not. And that this needs to be acknowledged. How many times this has to be documented happening before you start to say, you know what, you're right. We didn't see that Papa was quitting. We didn't see that Ryan was quitting. We can't see this information because we're so focused on assuming that Safemoon's the next big thing and working out from there. Like, they start with a fact that they don't know and they work out from there. I hope they're right. I hope it is. But that, unfortunately, when you start there and you seek to reinforce an idea that you can't prove, you end up with delusion. And even worse beyond that, you end up with hatred towards you guys and anybody that has their eyes open even a little bit. Safemoon Knight just took down the most dastardly mathematician villain known as the Control Freak, aka Tom the Terrible. My name's Tom, by the way. Sorry, Crypto Control, you lost a subscriber here. Your mind control has no effect on the army. Now, his next video came out and said that he admitted he was wrong. But, like, look at this. Debunked. Oh, my God, he's debunked right here. Awesome video, Safemoon Knight. Hold no prisoners, bro. Okay, that's fine. This is actually a good comment. I like that one. Get it, Batman. Destroy the fudders. Good job, Knight. Keep it up in backing you. And it's like, okay, if you're just willing to accept anything that counters what you don't like, is that you're not a reliable source of perspective. And because of that, you're going to establish beliefs that aren't true. Or you're already, the reason you're thinking this way is to reinforce a belief that you already have that can't be reinforced by logical thinking, right? To me, it's like, it's very obvious. And beyond that, it's when I'm okay with even that. But when it resorts to attacking and being hateful and lying and literally taking every standard that you're accusing me of, and you're the ones breaking those standards. You accuse me of doing this for selfish gain. And I'll admit, of course, I'm a YouTuber. I do this for views. I do this to grow my channel, but I'm doing it in an honest way. I'm not lying to you guys about how rich you're going to be so that I can make money off of you. I tell you the truth, even though I lose hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of subscribers and get attacked and people cancel me and block me, even when I respectfully talk about these. And I know that you guys, if you even speak up a little bit about these ideas on Twitter or Reddit or anywhere, you know what it's like to get attacked, to get lied about. And that's where I'm like, man, not only are you guys illogical in your thinking when it comes to this because you want to escape the slavery of being a wage slave, but you attack other people and you lie about them and you accuse them of everything you're doing. And this makes the Safemoon army look really bad from the outside, because anybody who's not a Safemoon believer, this isn't hard to see at all. It's extremely obvious. That's why I use that analogy of being in a relationship. You see somebody in a bad relationship, you don't have those emotions. You're not stuck thinking that this person is the right one if they would just see how much you love them, or if they would just change a little bit. You can see that person is using that person, and this person wants them so bad that they're willing to let them cross all their boundaries in hopes that one day they'll stop crossing those boundaries, and you know it's not going to happen. And to me, it's such a perfect demonstration of the Safemoon army, and it's like every holder makes up the Safemoon brain of the Safemoon army. And many of us have left, and many of us are here like, hey, this is bullcrap, this needs to change. And there's a small group of us that are enabling that bad behavior, that believe in that bad behavior, that thinks that questioning them is going to cause it to fail. And that's also another interesting parallel between relationships, is people, and they are afraid of something that's real. Like if you're in a toxic relationship, someone's crossing your boundaries, they cross your boundaries because they're not afraid to lose you. And they know that you will deal with it because you don't want to lose them. So they lose respect for you, and they use that power because you give them power over you. And I think that because the Safemoon maxis don't want to lose, I don't want to lose either, but because they don't want to lose to the point that they let the team walk on them. They let the team lie to them. And what does that do? It creates disrespect. The team is not going to respect you. They see you as someone to be used and walked over if you just enable that behavior. To me, am I delusional, or is this just not like the clearest picture ever of what's happening? And how many promises can be made and unfulfilled, and how much backstabbing can go on before people start to wake up. That's why a lot of people are upset at us for fudding, which is really all we're doing is talking about what has happened. We're not trying to convince Safemoon's evil, he's the very evil person everybody sell. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, look at his wallets, look at what he said, look at the blockchain. But honestly, who has caused more FUD within Safemoon than John himself, and then the team himself? And I can't move personally, and I think a lot of you guys feel this way, I can't move past that until that gets fixed. And I go back to this relationship analogy. If my partner cheats on me, and I really want to maintain what we have because I see it's worth it, I can't just brush that under the carpet. That has to be dealt with between us, and there has to be understanding of what happened, of why it happened, and of what could prevent it, and on if we want to move forward with each other. But for it to just be not addressed at all, and like I said, and people thought this was funny, for John to cheat on us with the liquidity pool, and for that to not be addressed at all. It'd be like if you went up to your partner and you said, hey, here's messages of you sending, naked pictures to this other person and saying you're going to meet up on the weekend, and this happened months ago or happened a year ago. And they go, oh, that's old FUD, that's old news. We don't need to talk about that. It's like you're sweeping this under the rug, and all it does is reinforce the idea that what you did is exactly what I think you did, exactly what we think you did, which is you kind of took advantage of the Safemoon army by taking the LP and taking the profits through selling it through taking away what we paid for, which was the stability of the price to not drastically drop or go up. That's why 5% was paid for. It wasn't dev funding. It wasn't mansion funding. It wasn't car funding. So for me personally, it's like a broken relationship. And I think John's Hail Mary plan is to release a product that will cause people to just forget about it. Because, I mean, to be honest here, if the price started going up a lot, people would not give a crap about the FUD. I mean, yeah, you still have people talking about it even while the price is going up. But what we say doesn't have as much of an impact if things are going right. You know what I mean? It's like I always compare it to a rocket ship. If the rocket ship is sitting there broke and we've all invested in it and it's not going anywhere, then everything that we're talking about why the rocket ship's not working, it all has so much more impact. But if you get that rocket ship working and it starts blasting off, it does shut down the FUD, even if the FUD is real about how the rocket ship was a piece of crap before. And I think that's the plan. I think that's the game plan, is what they did. They did take advantage of investors. They took advantage of the liquidity pool. They took advantage of Bitmart. It did have an effect on the price, but they're going for that Hail Mary plan where John throws it down the field into the exchange or into some kind of deal, maybe a blockchain, I don't know, in hopes that it will affect the price. Because even if you just put out something, people will get hyped. But if the price doesn't go up, the longer we go without the price going up, more and more people are going to lose faith in your words. You can only, it's like your words are, I like that post by Shibetoshi Nakamoto. He's like, your actions are so loud that I can't hear the words you're saying. I was like, I really like that. And right now the team's actions are so freaking loud from the past year. And John is part of it. We don't separate him. He's a huge part of it. I can't hear what he's saying. What he's saying has no impact. So, yeah, I think that leaves us with, I'm trying to consider, like, what is the purpose of what I'm doing? And I need to make money. I need to get back to making money. And this isn't doing it for me. But I care so much about Safemoon that I feel it's important to talk about this. There's not really that, like, who else? Coffee and, a couple other people who were way smarter than me dug into this for the past year and brought a lot of this to light. And I feel like they did a great job, but what that did is it leaves us, me and you guys and anybody else out there, with a position to keep talking about this, to dig deeper, to find the answers until it gets fixed, until it gets addressed, or until they give the army what they owe the army. The army shouldn't be viewed as investors in a project where you get to do what you want with the money and tell them stories to keep them entertained while you're off trying to give speeches about being, a tech company, the next innovative tech company. I'm like, who gives speeches before they've made anything? And that's like, you're giving speeches based off of the fact that people invested in this, hoping that something would be made, and not based on the fact that we've actually made anything that's worth giving a speech about, when there's other projects out there that have put out way more than we have. Why are we giving speeches? Because there's a ton of people following. Why are a ton of people following? Because celebrities promoted this and a bunch of people bought into the idea that they were going to be rich based off of the liquidity pool, which is what sold, which is why you're rich. It's just crazy to me. And so it's like, I don't know what the future holds, I never know really where I'm going to go, or what I'm going to do. But I am one of those people that, like, I felt, it's kind of a separate topic, but I think it would be good for maybe someone to hear here, is that, I felt most of my life like, you're never going to be anything. Like, you try to write a story, nobody's going to like it. You try to be an actor, you try to make music, you're never going to be good enough. I always felt that way. So I felt pretty hopeless to be like, I'm not going to be able to change my life. And it wasn't until, 5-6 years ago that I started to think, like, what am I capable of? Like, if I were to be willing, what is my human body and mind capable of doing? And I was like, well, I think I'm capable of doing basically what anybody else is doing. And it started to lead me down towards this mind of thinking that I think a lot of you guys probably hold or already had, which is, just do it. There's smarter people way more smarter and talented than you, but what separates you from them is you just doing it, going after your goals. And I started making music. I started writing a book. I started trying YouTube, and it took all these different things that have led me to where I am. And I'm very happy and thankful of where I'm at, but I'm also like, I have to take this to the next level. I have to keep aiming higher, even though it might feel like the odds are against me, because it always feels that way. And so I'm really happy what's happened with Safemoon. I wish Safemoon would do well so that I could continue to be a part of it and to talk about it. But I feel my time with Safemoon might be coming to an end, or a much slower pace of only talking about things when they matter, because I can't talk positively about Safemoon until this stuff is dealt with, or until they put out stuff that goes beyond this. You know what I mean? If the price starts to go up, I'd at least be okay with talking about it then, because I know that I'm not hurting investors by convincing them to buy something that's only going down. You know what I mean? Which is what we see a lot within the maxi mind says. Oh no, guys, stock up, load up. Like, the price has been going down for the past year. You guys could have just waited, saved yourself thousands of dollars, and got the exact same bag. And you're worried about me convincing people to sell, but you guys, convincing people to buy the entire time, and everybody's at a loss right now. There's your double standards. So I have, like, right now, I have probably 4 things that I could really focus on, that I really want to. One is that any whistleblower, anybody who is there who wants to come out, I'm definitely down to cover that. I'm definitely down to cover their YouTube podcast, to dissect them and see what it is they're saying, to continue to look for hope that something might happen. I want to chart all the impacts of all the negative things that happen with the celebrities, the liquidity pool, and I want to look at John's wallet and kind of go through that and look at the different times that it was buying and selling, and maybe be able to differentiate that. And I also want to kind of paint what I feel is the actual picture of Safemoon, of what has been happening the whole time, and this relationship of the team to the army. And beyond that, I don't know if, until those things are dealt with, how much positive content or even negative content I can paint. Like, yeah, I can dig into the blockchain, and I can look at all the off-ramping and the Gabe wallet and the Bitmart. And I do feel like there is something about Bitmart that the math hasn't been clearly expressed yet. So I could spend a lot of time looking at all these numbers, which I probably will, to get a good idea of how much Safemoon was sent, what was the price of Safemoon when it was sent, and how much Tether was gotten back, and what is the difference. Because what we pretty much know is that the Safemoon being sent to Bitmart from our liquidity pool was sold over the counter at a discount. And what received from those accounts was John's wallets, which received millions of dollars in Tether. And then we know it was off-ramped. We know that at least 3 cars and a very nice house was built. People try to say it's not a mansion. It's a $2 to $2.5 million house in Utah. It is a extremely nice house. It's not a small house, and it is where he lives. So, but part of me feels like it's good to continue. I feel like Safemoon's down. I feel like John's down right now, and Safemoon's down. Like, everybody can see through the BS. And a podcast and little changing the emojis and hyping up things. You're losing your power to lie to us or to convince us of a vision that's not there, which is what I think John feels like Safemoon was built on. So with that, while I do feel like they're down right now, I feel like they're in a really weak position. Like, as far as confidence, investors' confidence in Safemoon is probably at its all-time low. I'm like, man, should I kick this horse while it's down, is kind of how I'm feeling. And I have to think about that. I'm like, well, here's the reality of it. It's the right thing to do. Even though people are going to lie about me and hate me and mock me and whatnot, and I'm barely going to make any money for it, and I'm going to lose subscribers. I've lost like 600 subscribers for my last 4, 5, 6 videos. I think it's the right thing to do. And I'll be honest with you. I do like being that voice of honest and reason, just like many of you do whenever it's not popular. So if this video would have been a few months ago, I'd have sold my bag. I'm down way too much now. As are most of us, I'm seriously considering selling to top up my EGC. Looking forward to your project, hopefully in development during this bear market and released when the bull market returns. Yeah, I should focus on that more. There's a couple things about my ideas that what I really wanted it to be and what it I don't know. I need to spend more time on that. I spent a lot of time on that and it came to a halt. Why did all this take place on the ETH chain? That's a good question. I don't know if I really know the answer to that unless it's just that's where it happened. Because on the Binance chain, stuff did happen as well. But I guess you can see, yeah, I probably don't know the clear answer to that. But I know that you can click this and it'll show you every chain that this wallet has interactions with. So there's Polygon, Hecko, I've never heard of that one, FTM. And there's also Tesla, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I don't have a really good answer for you on that one. Somebody in the chat might know. I would just think that that's where these transactions happen. Sorry guys, I gotta do something real fast. I actually have a bunch of addresses I don't think I've shown you guys. We've got the Gabe cash out wallets, which was Gabe just sending to a wallet to cash out through different exchanges. Yeah, the Devil wallet, you know, and I've already shown this before, but the Devil wallet right here, it's a Devil wallet. Is the one that held John's Moondog. Or had his Moondog. It switched it out to a another wallet that ends up with the South by Southwest wallet. This is how Coffee and his team confirmed that this was John's wallet. So it goes the Moondog and it goes out to this one. And there it is, Captain Hoddle. So the evidence is there. You just have to have your eyes just a tiny little bit open to see this and stop making excuses. It's like, yeah, you can come up with an excuse and a counter argument to anything, but can you be logical on what is most likely true? And most people, they can't because their desire for it to not be what it is greater than their desire to know what's real. So I would unsubscribe if you didn't say the truth. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. A lot of people unsubscribed because I did say the truth. I lost like 600 subs in the past couple months. Maybe easier to hide since Safemoon is BSC, so no one look at ETH. Yeah, it could be that, or it could just be that. You might be right. You might be right. That might actually be it. But there's unanswered questions right now. There's pictures that haven't been fully expressed. What role did the team play in the dropping of the price? And I wish I was smarter. I'm learning and I'm trying, but I'm not like amazing. All I know is that May 11th, they did a massive migration of liquidity, and it was a migration, right? We know the process. On May 12th, huge dip in the price. We went down from our all-time high. So it was like, okay, simple question. Did what you guys do with the liquidity make our volatility of our price get destroyed? And I wonder if this information just gets lost because you need to track all the sells during this time, what wallets they were. You'd have to look at what was happening between PancakeSwap v1 and PancakeSwap v2 to see what kind of situation was created. And I think that well, okay, so yeah, there's two things that happened here. So Papa did the migration, massive migration, the day before the price really started to tank, right? And then he also did what he John asked him to in the leaked screenshots. Like I showed you guys earlier, this is John claiming the Gabe wallet. He says, this is my wallet. So it shouldn't really be any discussion around whether that's his wallet or not. This is John asking him to, on May 12th, the day before the price really started to tank, right after the liquidity was moved. 'Cause it's really interesting. So they didn't have the Safemoon they needed to send to the exchanges to simulate tokenomics. And I've heard Thomas and I believe other Solidity developers say, why don't they just simulate the tokenomics on their own exchange? Because you technically should be collecting Safemoon and then using that to give out reflections, right? But they were collecting Tether and then sending that to us and buying Safemoon for, I think, a cheaper price. So we were profiting off of the reflections, but the profit that was providing the reflections to the exchanges was at the cost of our liquidity. You know what I mean? That's where I'm like, this picture hasn't been clearly demonstrated or shown for myself and for other people. But this was all right before everything tanked. It could be coincidence. You know, I try to be open to both sides. It could be coincidence that they did a massive migration and that they sent trillions of tokens to Bitmart, market maker account, right before a huge dump, and that liquidity moving had nothing to do with the volatility of the price. It'd be pretty hard to imagine that. But the amounts are pretty insane too. Let me show you guys something else. Something else that's pretty interesting, actually. So May 12th. Yep, it's right around this time. Because I know he says the amounts. It was such a massive migration. I had it pulled up, but I can't find it. But in my mind, it's like pretty hard to imagine that didn't play a huge role in the dropping of the price. Okay. He also did more migrations after that, so it's like it becomes so much information to work through. Oh, here it is. I had it right here. I'm an idiot. But this one was June 4th. Hold on a sec. Was this? So this was another migration that they did. Migration is 186,913 BNB and 22 trillion Safemoon. So if you're doing the migration, how we know they did the migration, that means, why does that not sound right? 186,913 BNB. Doesn't that sound like ridiculous? Why does that sound way off? 50 million, 22 trillion Safemoon. Well, they had, what did they have? They had $250 million in liquidity, right? Isn't that right, guys? They had $250 million worth of liquidity locked up. Thank you, Dookie. I appreciate that, man. That just sounds massive. So if this one did happen around June 4th, the 4th there. I think this was the wallet release last year, wasn't it? Yeah. Massive build up into the wallet release, and then massive sell off, and then like, I don't know, or maybe that was around here, I forget. That almost started to look like a J curve. It was like, let me see if I can find this one transaction. Oh, I need to go that way. Is what I need to do. I was going the wrong way. Papa is asked to blame. He put on that SS out there to put that blame on John. Not trying to defend John because what he did is unspeakable. I just think they need to be held accountable. Well, Papa... So here's Papa's thing from Coffee's video is that he... Once again, it's either they did something they shouldn't have done or they're incompetent. And obviously, if you had to choose between those two, you would say, oh, no, I just didn't know. I'm just dumb. It's pretty hard to think that Thomas, Papa, didn't know that Kyle took from liquidity and that that's what was used to send him $1 million at one point. And also, apparently, I haven't looked at that part where Kafazili talks about how some of the migration that Thomas did ended up in his own account. So that's Thomas's part in all this. John's part is the Bitmart part. John's part is the receiving of the tether from the selling of the Safemoon, from the liquidity, and from the tax on the Bitmart account. And this also probably involves other exchanges. You know, I haven't really looked into that to see what was being profited from other exchanges as well. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you guys earlier. I just remembered where it was at. You're gonna come in here and promote, nice. Crypto control, it is all just a giant conspiracy theory. Oh, I'm safe and I'm innocent. Safe and policy NDAs are a must for our secret technologies. I meant it's just like, hey, explain this, and you would make you bring back a lot of investors if you could just come out and explain these things, come back and would be at peace. That was like my big thing is like, you guys should be promoting unity and peace within your community. And that's not being promoted. It's the maxi mindset is what's rewarded. The believe everything we say and don't question us, that's rewarded. And if you have questions, even if it's respectfully, you're not going to get answers. So and you will get outcasts, and that will be encouraged, and the maxis are promoted and lifted up, and anybody else is blocked by Mr. Adult on Twitter. Okay, sorry guys, 1 second. Where is the Thomas contract owner? Did I not add that one? I don't know if I ever checked that one for on Etherscan. Oh, there it is. Okay, it doesn't do anything on Etherscan anyways. What about Thomas and the Rocket BUSD rug? I'm not sure about that. Don't worry, the private keys to the contract are with the finance department. Wink, wink. They need to delete that Safemoon Discord too. Somehow ends up as CEO of a crypto company. Oh, yeah, there's something I should show you guys. Oh. It's going to be going in my next video anyways, but it's definitely related to what you're talking about as far as him being CEO. He's asked how he got the position, and once again, it's very vague, general, trying to avoid what actually happened, describe how it happened. And he says, I saw an opportunity, and then he switches to, we saw an opportunity, and we jumped on it. I was like, oh, sounds like John was paying attention, looking for an opportunity to take over Safemoon, and he found it and got it. And that hasn't been clearly like understood, I don't think, by or expressed to a lot of people. Sorry guys, I'm just... Oh, wait. Oh. Okay. I think I remembered what I forgot to do. Sometimes I get on here and my mind goes blank on what I'm trying to remember. Finally, I found it. Okay. Awesome. I forgot that one little step where you have to open the wallet and go find the specific token that you're looking for. Of course it does. So this is the contract owner went from, I believe, Safemoon Dev to Papa, and then now it's a third contract owner right now of Safemoon. So that's interesting. I don't even know what to make of this. But we do see removed liquidity. This is May 12th. Okay, so yeah, when the liquidity migrations were happening, this is what I was trying to find earlier. Sorry, guys. We see that liquidity is removed, right? Looks like 3 times on May 12th, right before the drop of the all-time high. Almost 1 trillion tokens. $3 million. This is actually really interesting because this says that this happened on June 4th, which was when he said that there was 22 trillion Safemoon and 186,000 BNB. What was that date? Gosh dang it. June 4th. Skim. I've never even seen that before. What is skim? So he does do the remove liquidity on June 4th. It's only 1 trillion tokens. $10,000 BNB, 10,982 BNB. The price was $390 at the time. So it would actually have been $4,282,000 for this remove liquidity on June 4th. Skim. What is skim? I've never seen that before. Does anybody know what that is? For 291,000. Maybe it's like leftover or something. Wait a second. Maybe that's the thing that Coffee was talking about. I don't know. Safemoon is the way. You're wasting your time for attention. You're not a detective. Ha 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 ha. You're a joke. Hey Twister, you want to join a Discord call and have a conversation, man? Most people just want to run away, throw out hate, and then go hide and reinforce their, did you guys see what I did? Made fun of that guy. It's like, all right, if that's what you want to do with your time. Oh. I'm guessing this was the you pulled out 1 trillion tokens and then would buy Safemoon. Buy Safemoon, buy Safemoon. And this created all the buys on that day that Thomas was talking about. But you're pulling it from PancakeSwap V1, the remove liquidity, and then you're buying it on the PancakeSwap V2. I just don't get those numbers though. Why does he say 22 trillion Safemoon? Those numbers. I have no idea. Does anybody in the chat know what those numbers, why he says those numbers? His Tano time? What do you mean his Tano time? Tano was before Safemoon. What do you think about the Richard Branson pick with Josh? That's a new traction they're trying to pull. I'm not sure. I think you can just visit there and get a picture with him. I don't know if you. I hope there's something, but I don't know. Let me read this comment that he said. Rumors that he lived in a van or something that was before or after the Left Army. How was he already involved in the Gambia speculation? To me, doesn't add up. Yeah, I can explain that. That's pretty easy, actually. John lived in a van, but he made it like nice. It wasn't like he was poor. He wasn't rich, but he wasn't like super poor enough to live in a van. He chose, like, according to Thomas, He chose to fix up a van to live in it. He made it nice. But yeah, he lived in a van. John's connections to the Gambia are through his mom, who owns the Barajali Group. His mom and his dad are CIA. They own the Barajali Group, which is focused on improving life in the Gambia. John's connections to the Gambian government weren't because Safemoon was so amazing, but because his parents already knew them and because he had actually already known them before through the Barajali Group. So, yeah, but the Barajali Group and the Gambian government distanced themselves from John. So John's mom distanced herself and her project, Barajali Group, from Safemoon, and so did the Gambian government. John went down there for the birthday month, and we were expecting something big. Instead, we got a captain's log update saying that while the Gambia still holds a place in our heart, we're going to pursue our own endeavors through new connections or separate connections. Like whatever connections we had were cut off, and now we're pursuing it through our own connections, which is without the Gambian government, without the Barajali Group. And that's why it opened John's eyes to working at other parts of the world. And that was supposed to be like an easy letdown, but just not very honest, obviously. And I get it. If you come out and say it's dead, people are going to freak out. So it's like, I can understand that in some sense you're being forced to communicate things in as positive way as possible. But at that point, it also leaves us with a huge lack of transparency when it comes to things. That is so weird to me. This is what I'm doing. I spend hours upon hours looking at this stuff and looking for connections to posts they have and stuff, and then verifying it. It's plain as day they stole money, because why would they keep quiet about it? Twister has time to leave a message, but no time to possibly save his investment. Yeah. So I think I pretty clearly expressed what it is I'll be working on. I kind of just wanted to do a stream to connect with you guys today. Kind of give you an update, because a lot of people don't watch my streams. But when I put out this video, thousands of people are going to see it. 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people might see it. And I appreciate you guys liking and commenting and stuff. Like I said, all it does is help the video get out there, and the views are like fractions of a penny per view. So it's not like you're handing out a ton of money by doing those things, but you are helping get the message out there. So I think I'm gonna buckle down for maybe another month or so and try to get this information clearly expressed, and then I might take some time to try to move on. But I'll always be here. If something crazy happens, I can come back and say, hey, Safemoon, here's a Safemoon video that's realistic. While everybody's hyping this up and ignoring, saying, no, this ain't it, I'll be there and be like, yeah, guys, this is it, this is happening. That's my entire goal, is to be the one that tells you, hey, Thomas is leaving. While everybody else is saying he's not leaving, he's not effing leaving, I'm letting you know he's gone. He's pretending to be on the team. Me and other people are letting you guys know. And when Ryan's talking about leaving, we're right here with you saying, guys, there's a problem and Ryan might end up leaving. We tell you the important information while it's obvious, so that you can decide for yourself if you want to buy or sell, because we are not trying to control your investments. I'm not trying to convince you to stay or to buy. I don't think it's an honest approach to somebody to try to control their investment. Why? Because we're gambling on something we do not know. Unless you had inside knowledge that a major company was going to be pouring like millions of dollars in, which would be like a form of insider trading, nobody knows the future. So we're going to keep speaking the future, and in hopes that change will happen, in hopes that the bad relationship will become a good relationship, and that the investors won't be seen as kids to entertain with stories to keep them invested, and as adults, as people smarter than yourself. The army is full of people way smarter than the team, way smarter. And the team are not any better than the army. So I would really like to see a maturing, and there are different levels of maturing happening. Like John says, he can't say the word imminent anymore. Like, yeah, that's great. That's good improvement. And yeah. My brother and Chris get Mark on here and hold a Twitter space. My brother and Christ get Mark on here and hold a Twitter space. Mark's one of the busiest people I've ever met. He actually does a ton of work. Like, he's actually building real things and helping people and doing things. If any of you guys want to make your own project, I can get you to Mark, and if it's a good idea, Mark can help you build it, and I get like a cut out of that. So if you have a really good idea, not just like a dumb idea, and you just don't have anybody to help you implement it, and you have like a team and everything, or you want to find a team, I can hook you up with Mark, and Mark can help you get all of that taken care of, as well as, you know, I get like a very small percentage if I hook him up with legit projects. So just reach out to me on Twitter if you're trying to get a project made, and I can connect you with Mark. Thanks for the explanation on the Gambia and fun stream. I'll be on the lookout for your vids. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, I think I have what feels to me like some of the clearest and deepest, most impactful videos that I could make on Safemoon regarding the fullness of what Safemoon has been this entire time. And like I said, it's all in hopes that they get their asses in gear and put out some products and we get the price up. But you guys are awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Mitch and Tommy, if there's anything you guys want to say, now's the time to say it. I'm probably going to go work out and maybe swim. It's pretty late in the day. But this at least gives you guys a sneak peek into what I'm doing, what I'm focusing on, why I'm doing it. Because if the investors were treated right, there wouldn't be much a reason to give attention to this. You know what I mean? $69 viewers, nice. Mitch, thank you so much for the small donations, man. Like, you don't have to ever donate again, and I'd still be just as happy with you. I really appreciate the couple bucks here and there. You know, YouTube takes 30% of that. Those bastards. Oh, wait a second. I didn't have my live chat on. It switched. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah. Hope you guys have a good Monday, and it'll probably take me a week or 2 or 3 to get these videos where I want them to be, as far as the research and the level of editing. And I think you guys will enjoy them. Probably the next thing that I'll do will be going over the podcast with you guys. Like, I like to watch those with you guys live and go over it and kind of dissect it a little bit. So we'll be doing that. That'll probably be the next time I see you guys while I'm working on all this information. All right, guys. It's great hanging out with you guys, and I'll catch you guys later.